Okay, fellas, here we go.
We'll do those at the end.
Rocky Romanella is the founder and CEO of 360 Management Services LLC and author of the book Tighten the Lug Nuts. With over 40 years of boots-on-the-ground leadership experience, Rocky creates excitement through his energy, passion, and knowledge in every podcast. During his 36 years at UPS, he led one of the largest rebranding initiatives in franchising history, the UPS Store, revolutionizing the $9 billion retail shipping and business services market. He also led the integration of more than 20 acquisitions that became UPS Supply Chain Solutions and let us improve financial performance, capabilities, and global footprint. Post-UPS, he served as CEO and director for Unitech Global Services, a telecommunications company, and serves as an independent board member and advisor. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the discussion.
Do this look like work to you? Nah. Looking at the lights like it's all of this for me. Everyone tonight is here, all of this for me. Hands in the air, yeah, all of this for me. Bottles over here, all of this for me. Bottles bringing bottles, yeah, all of this for me.
Yes, indeed, and welcome in to another edition of The Rome Show here on HamiltonRadio.net, Channel 2, and Facebook.com/The Rome Show 1. I am Andrew Romanella. That is my partner, Rocky Romanella. We are taking you all the way up until the 8 o'clock hour. You can call in the show at any time, 609-807-2492. Comment in on the Facebook comment section, as well as tune in on the Instagram. We have a questions sticker up on our Instagram story. You want to check that out at Wide World of Rome. Rocky, how are you doing on this beautiful fall September 21st evening?
I'm doing great because I just finishing my share post, and this is a really good one.
You got a good comment for the share today?
Yeah,
What do you got for us?
got injured in week 2 NFL. We'll be back next season. About that. Just kidding, but seriously, listen to the show.
I have to give you a lot of props. That was a really good one.
Yeah, pretty incredible that many people got injured. But outside of that, I'm really excited for the show. Not excited to talk about my individual personal favorite teams, but really excited to talk about sports in general, as a lot of fans are happy, just not the ones that I particularly identify with.
Well, the positive is we don't have to talk all night about the sports that you love because it's such a weird time in the world right now, but we have all 4 major sports competing right now.
Which is a lot of fun.
So it is, and also kind of tiring, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, the effort it takes to try and watch every single game. I want to see the conference finals in the NBA. I want to watch the Stanley Cup finals. I want to see what's going on Sunday, on Thursday, on Monday. I want to watch a little college football. Heck, I'm in the WNBA playoffs too. Like, there's so much going on, but it's like you're just so fortunate because you remember the times you didn't have sports for 3 months. You're like, I'll take this any day of the week.
I know. You got the NASCAR playoffs. You got the
NASCAR playoffs. The U.S. Open. Did you see what Bryson DeChambeau did this weekend?
Yeah, he was just crushing golf balls.
For those of you that do not know what happened at the U.S. Open this weekend, Bryson DeChambeau finished 6 under.
It's DeChambeau.
I'm going to call him DeChambeau, all right? Just like I talk about the process, okay?
For sure.
Finished 6 under at the U.S. Open and was the only player in the field to finish under par. And I think he was the only player. He shot around 70 or under all 4 days, and which is one of the more impressive performances on one of the harder golf courses you're going to see the U.S. Open played on. So shout out to Bryson DeChambeau on a great weekend.
Can we just do this real quick?
Do it real quick.
Can you spell DeChambeau?
DeChambeau. Bryson DeChambeau. Let's go, baby. I don't know why I do that so confidently. It's like I'm the Merriam-Webster's dictionary for sports spelling names. We've got the NFL, the NHL, the MLB, and the NBA on the docket for you tonight. But we start the show always with a statistic. This day in sports history, September 21st, 2008. You might say to yourself, Rocky, why, Andrew, just why are you only bringing me back 12 years? That is because, Rock, a day after the New York Yankees have clinched their 56th playoff berth in franchise history. On this day in 2008, that is when the original Yankee Stadium was demolished. Excuse me. The last game was played, and in my mind after that, it was over. Last game was played at the old Yankee Stadium. It was a 7-3 win over the Baltimore Orioles. The winning pitcher that night was Andy Pettitte. He went to 14-14 on the year with that win. The stadium commonly known as the house that Ruth built in 1923. Rock, listen to this. It was built for $2.4 million. $2.4 million, okay? The new current Yankee Stadium cost how much to make?
$24 million.
Not even close.
Wow.
$2.3 billion to make the current Yankee
I just don't
Stadium.
understand how that's $1 billion and the stadium sucks.
It does. It really does.
There's nothing unique about it.
I'll say this all day, every day.
Zero uniqueness.
They built that stadium to watch winning. That was it.
It was literally, it's a replica.
Yes.
It's a replica of Yankey Stadium.
A very expensive
So,
replica.
like, why not take the billions and just like rebuild Yankee Stadium?
You would think. It got rebuilt, I think, in 1973. Some other statistics I have for you. In total, there were 6,581 games played, regular season games played at the old Yankees Stadium. And the last fact for you today on this date in sports history, the park, which the old Yankee Stadium was located, is now called Heritage Field, and it is a public park located next to the new Yankee Stadium. That is your This Day in Sports History, September 21st, 2000.
Yeah, listen, it's so hard. And obviously, it's going to sound biased. But I've talked to Yankee fans too, and they themselves have admitted that the new Yankee Stadium is not up to what it should be for all that money.
And you know, talking to baseball players this summer that were coming in from different places that don't regularly or frequent the New York stadiums, every one of them, unsolicited to me and my bias to Citi Field, said that they've been to both, and of the two, Citi Field was the better stadium. But
By the way, I'm not one of those Yankee haters.
me either. I love watching the Yankees.
I
Yeah,
like the Yankees.
I'm in for them playing well, and I'm in for them winning. But here's my thing, though. When they built Citi Field, the Mets weren't very good. So they had to build a stadium that people still wanted to come to regardless of the product on the field. When they built Yankee Stadium, per usual, they were expecting to win world championships. And so they built a stadium that had continued to bring them world championships.
I guess.
Plain and simple.
It's a logical thought process.
It is a logical thought process. Also, very logical thought process is what the MLB and MLBPA did today, Rock. My straight off the roam today is a cool story out of Major League Baseball. The Players Alliance was formed, okay? And the Players Alliance gives voice to the black baseball players in Major League Baseball. There's over 100 black baseball players that belong to the Players Alliance. And the MLB and the MLPA today jointly committed $10 million to the Players Alliance. And they said this powerful partnership will aid organizational efforts to improve representation of Black Americans in all levels of baseball and support our mission to provide greater opportunities for the Black community, both in our game and the places we live in, play in, and care about most. One more quote I want to read from you before I get your response, Rocky, is something that Curtis Granderson said, who has been a prime leader in Major League Baseball in general over the course of his career. He said this: as the stark racial minority in all aspects of our game, the Players Alliance has given a voice and platform for our black players, unified in our stance against systematic racism. We stand together for what is right and to change our game for the better. He went on to say other things, but that's the gist of what I wanted to read you. All in all, I think a powerful statement from the MLB and the MLBPA. And I think a real big day for Major League Baseball, both the black athletes in Major League Baseball, but also Major League Baseball's organization as a whole.
Yeah, no, and it's interesting to note that this is such a, obviously it's a great alliance. Their mission is great, all that stuff. It's just funny to see baseball in this progressive way, when in reality everyone looks at baseball as, like, you look at Jackie Robinson as the color barrier in professional sports.
Right,
Like,
not just baseball.
it's the universal symbol for that barrier. So, but it's interesting to see that, you know, even with that history, even with that status, right, baseball's still struggling with some of the same things that every other professional league is, and every other society is still dealing with. So it's an interesting kind of
Dynamic.
Yeah.
And what I think I like the best out of all this, and it's something I've screamed about on the show, Rock, for a long time, about a lot of different problems in our society, is if professional athletes have a platform that they can utilize to invoke change, then I want them to do it. And to see not just baseball, You saw the hockey have an alliance. We know at the NBA and the NFL, we're way ahead of both of those leagues in that as well. To see the players come together, that's my favorite part about it. And then just to see the league backing them. I hope this does some good. I love to see players like CC Sabathia and Curtis Granderson, Cameron Maben, players Adam Jones that have been in the league for 10s and 15s of years, know how the league operates, understands what's gone on, and knows what needs to be changed. So shout out to the MLB, the MLBPA, the Players Alliance. And we'll keep you posted. I'm trying to get a player that played for me in independent baseball, Mikael Mose, is hopefully going to join our show next week and be able to talk a little bit more about being a Black athlete in professional baseball and the importance of what's gone on with the Players Alliance, the MLB, and the MLBPA.
Awesome. And if you want some insight on how it works between the players and some of the camaraderie, I'd encourage you to watch the first episode of Quest for the Stanley Cup. So the first episode goes inside the bubble, and they pick it up in the quarterfinals, but they pick it up in the same week that that everything happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin. So they take you through the series of events from the night that Boston and the night that Vegas decided to play their games to the next day when they decided to take a pause for 2 days. And, seeing Ryan Reeves, like, oh, I got a text from Kevin Shattenkirk, who's in the Eastern bubble. And it's like, I need to talk to you right now. Ryan Reeves is a Black player who plays for the Vegas Golden Knights, who is, helped form the alliance in hockey and is really kind of taking a stance as a vocal leader kind of in this respect. And so we got a text. And when he called Kevin Shattenkirk, it was all of the players from the Eastern bubble.
Wow.
On the phone. Yeah. So it was just funny how they all were, how they all communicated with each other.
And how close the whole league is in general.
Yeah, it's funny.
So reference that again. What's that on?
So that's on ESPN Plus if you want to go do Quest for the Stanley Cup.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not a hockey plug. It is actually, if you wanted to see, what it could have looked like in the NBA or what it could have looked like. I'm sure the NBA's got some all access stuff that you could watch too there.
Sure.
It is cool to see kind of the players' dynamic. I think that's probably one great thing that's come out of the pandemic is that as a fan, you've really gotten to see what the players' union and the players' associations really do and how they actually operate.
100%. And I love that all access. I hope that continues as we get past times like this. And it's something, A-Rod talked about this in baseball a few years back. Like, I want all access into everything if I'm a fan. I want to be able to go on my MLB app, my NBA app, whatever sport it is, and be able to go inside the locker room, see the extra work that this guy's doing, and be able to get into the minds of those athletes. I agree with that. So we got a lot we can talk about today moving forward, right? And the NFL being prime. But I want to start with the NBA because of this, Rob. All right? Anthony Davis hit probably the biggest shot of his career for the Los Angeles Lakers last night against the Denver Nuggets with 2 seconds left, maybe less, on the clock. Anthony Davis came off a pick, knocked down a three with Nikola Jokic in his face, and sent the Los Angeles Lakers back to their hotel in the bubble with a 2-0 series lead. And what I believe could be the Denver. It's only 2-0. This Denver team's come back from 3-1 twice in these bubble playoffs alone. But that shot was so huge for Anthony Davis and for the Lakers because it doesn't matter where you're playing. Going up 2-0 compared to being 1-1, it's a whole different ballgame, especially with the talent that Denver has. The second part of this is that Dad brought up a point about after the game, LeBron James was asked about not winning the MVP. And we got into a great debate before the show about LeBron James' MVP stats. And I just thought, AD hits the big shot. The Lakers go up 2-0. We should continue this conversation on.
No doubt. So do you want me to respond to the shot or to the MVP?
Whatever you want.
Well, listen, game-winning shots is the greatest, right? And what was it, 2 weeks? It was like last week or just probably 2 weeks ago. It was like a Thursday night. It was like the Islanders and the Flyers were playing overtime. And then that was the night the Rockets hit the last second shot. Like, I love all this stuff. Like, that's the best part about right now, right? So Anthony Davis hits the game-winning ball. People go nuts. And, the whole narrative today is just Anthony Davis is a hero. He's a hero. It's weird that the first thing that comes to my mind, one of the first things is what if the Lakers lost the series now?
You're right. That's a great point.
It's one game. It's in the playoffs.
That's a great point.
I mean, and we're sitting here anointing Anthony Davis as one of the best clutch players in the history, but it's not like he's hitting that shot
But I don't think
to
anyone's
win the series.
no one's anointing him as the best
I'm telling
player.
you, dude, I turned on my internet this morning. It was as if the guy was like, "No more slighting Anthony Davis. I've entered the league and I'm here."
Can I ask you a question? How does one turn on their internet?
I turned on my computer. Turned on the internet.
Oh, you know, so that you didn't get a Verizon on-off switch with your internet wire?
Nah, I have lights with you.
Well, when I flicked on my internet switch today, I saw, yes, a narrative of Anthony Davis hit the big shot that we all didn't know if he could hit. We should give him more props now.
We should give him more props. I just love, I love the NBA hot takes on last-second shots. Because
People make their careers off of
last-second shots, and you literally missed probably 75% of them.
Derek Fisher is probably the best example. I mean, you think about Derek Fisher, and overall he's a great player.
You just think of Lakers hitting threes.
Yes, no doubt, 100%. But I'll agree with you on that. But I do think it's what the kids say, right? What the kids say, right? Put some respect on his name. I think that's what Anthony Davis is all about today. Not him himself personally, but the people writing about him. It's like, hey man, he hit that shot. Now I have one argument back to that, Rob. Okay, and it might seem so simple and obvious, but I haven't heard anyone talk about it. Like, is he hitting that shot in the Staples Center with 60, 50,000 going wild? Is he hitting that shot in Denver, right? With 40, 50 people at high altitudes going wild. That's what I want. Now, I'm not going to discredit the shot because it's in the bubble, right? But hey, depth perception's a real thing. All right? Depth perception's a real thing. And if that's the case, I want to see him do that in the legitimate big moment. And I'm surprised I hadn't heard many people say that today.
Nah, well, that's because the game itself is high intensity. So you're going to give credit to the game.
Right.
100%. So you got to give credit to the game.
100%.
I'll probably shy away from that argument because I don't know how much depth is there anyway. My thing is along those lines is that if in the next 4 years he misses the shot, he's going to be Zach Greinke, and no one's going to care.
Possibly, yeah.
He's a one-hit wonder.
It depends on what happens, though.
Yeah.
Because if they win a title, it's a different animal. Right? If they win a title this year, it don't matter.
It's about LeBron anyway.
It is, but it's not, though, because I do think that this year, and maybe this debunks the MVP argument a little bit, but this year, having AD there has changed that Lakers team. It's also changed the way LeBron's played, and that's why they're so good. If he's not there, are they still in the playoffs? Yes. Are they still a pretty good team? Yes. But I don't think they're the perennial favorite to win the title.
The problem that AD has is unless he is the finals MVP, the same way Draymond Green was, the same way Kevin Durant was, right? Unless he is the finals MVP, right, and really stands out that way, this is about LeBron with the Lakers in the year of Kobe Bryant.
So essentially, you're calling the AD. Here I'm going to put it in simple terms. AD gets to the level of Kevin Durant if he does this year what Kevin Durant did with the Golden State Warriors.
Correct.
Because he came to Steph Curry's team.
That's right.
That already won, and now he's trying to be the MVP.
The story between LeBron and Kobe and the Lakers is so much stronger that AD won't get his credit till 2-3 weeks past the finals.
Or he does what you just
Or
said.
he's the finals MVP,
Yeah.
and he has to get his credit because he earned it that way.
In terms of MVP conversation, I mentioned it before. We're having a great debate. LeBron James received 18 of 116 votes for the MVP this year. Giannis Antetokounmpo won the MVP. LeBron asked after the game, he kind of shot it down that, it is not salty. I don't think salty is the right word, but just a little I can't believe I only got 18 to 116 votes. And I agree with that. If the argument is, if I don't win it, I don't win it. But how am I only receiving 18 votes? If you look at the year he put together, as much as LeBron probably needs AD, right, in a way, is as much as that entire team needs LeBron James. Because there's no AD without LeBron, right? There's Giannis Antetokounmpo is the example. That's why they can't win, because he doesn't have LeBron right now. He's just himself. But we had a debate.
Is AD able, if LeBron wasn't on the Lakers, does AD take the Lakers to the playoffs like Giannis takes the Bucks to the playoffs?
AD takes the Lakers to the playoffs, yes, because he got better talent than he did on the team that he took to the playoffs in New Orleans.
Okay, so then if
But they're an 8th seed,
so then
maybe a
so
7th.
then if LeBron's not on the Lakers this year, AD should be up for consideration next to Giannis, is what we're saying, right?
Yes, I could get on board with that. Yeah, I could definitely get on board
Because
with that.
what Giannis did on his own is
Yeah.
greater than what LeBron did with AD.
That's well, I guess that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. Yes, but I think, and this is the debate we were having. It's not necessarily about LeBron not winning the MVP this year. It's about how many MVPs do you believe LeBron has 4. How many MVPs do you believe LeBron James should have, or is he rightfully gotten the amount of MVPs that he deserves?
Yeah, I don't know. So I had to go to the stats on this one.
Okay.
Right. And so since LeBron has come into the league, he's only won 4. Right. And so he won 2 with the Cavs before he left.
Okay.
And then he won 2 with the Heat before he left. And then the years that he was with the Cavs and they won.
What year did he win them with the Cavs? What year was that with the Cavs?
With the Cavs, he won in 08-09 and 09-010.
Okay.
Then Derrick Rose won with the Bulls.
Okay.
Which
He rightfully deserved it that year. I remember that year from Derrick Rose. He was a dude.
then LeBron wins it 11-12 and 12-13 with the Heat.
Okay.
And then
11 and 12, 12 and 13. Got it.
KD wins with OKC.
Yep. Well, that was the famous speech about his mom.
That's right. Steph,
2 in a row.
then Russell Westbrook.
That was
With
with
the
OKC.
triple
That was
double
year.
yeah.
Yep. And then with
Then
James Harden.
James Harden.
Yeah. And see, that was the year. Was that his last year in Cleveland?
Yes.
That was 18,
yeah.
right? That was the year that he took the Cavs to the finals. They lost, I think, in 6 games to Golden State. They had no business being anywhere.
Yeah.
And James Harden got the MVP because a lot of people believe he should have won it the year before when Russell got it because Russell had the triple-double year. It was just, essentially, what's the award in movies? Is it the best male actor, best male and female actor where it's like, or like, what award is
Best supporting.
where it's like, people are winning it for movies they did that shouldn't have won it, but for movies they didn't get it for because someone else had a great.
Oh, yeah. They always do that.
That's what I feel like.
There's like a line.
Yes. It's like, all right, well, we could give 2 to Leonardo DiCaprio.
This is what they say. This is what they say about the Football Hall of Fame.
Yes.
This is about why the wide receivers in the Football Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Well, he can't get it this year because so and so's in line. We gave it to him 2 years ago.
Yes.
So now we got to give.
So
it
he's got to wait. It's just like until Mariano Rivera, it was just like when nobody would vote 100% of anybody into the Hall of Fame.
I tell you what, though, in the last 10 years, though, how are you not just disappointed as an OKC front office staff? I mean, you've got KD, Russell, and James have all won MVPs in their time.
Not in OKC though. James Harden won it in Houston.
I know, but either way, like
They've
were
won.
together.
They've been MVPs. Yeah. Well,
You had a big 3.
but do you know why
You
they
literally
couldn't
had a
pay
big 3.
They couldn't pay him?
You could have paid them.
I don't think you can. Yeah, you don't know the financial situation of the
You had a big 3.
Right. No doubt. What they should have done is they should have maximized the lengths of
Surge, they did. They held on to Surge.
That was the issue. You trade Serge
Let
Ibaka.
Surge go.
Who was the other person they could have traded on that team? There was someone else on that team as well that you probably could. Kendrick Perkins they got back for James. It was just like, and listen, and they still got to the finals without him.
I mean, that's just homegrown MVP.
And I think they lost to
talent.
LeBron. I think they lost to LeBron.
Homegrown MVP talent.
And they let him go. But that, again, that is where you see a small market team.
Think about everything that everyone's trying to do to get a big 3, and you homebrew a big 3,
And then you traded 2 of them away.
you might be the Golden State Warriors, or you're probably at least have one of those titles.
Yeah, because you're in the Western Conference. And
You have at
with
least
them.
one of those.
Yeah, you have. If
You're still
Golden,
playing Cleveland every year.
if Golden State won 3, correct?
Yes.
Steph has 3.
Yeah.
Okay. They probably have 2.
3 and 2 or 3 and 1.
Whatever it is. There's probably one of those that you're right. Could have gone because you got to think about it. Kevin Durant's not on that Golden State Warriors team then.
He's not on the first 2.
Right.
He was on the third because they lost. right? Because they went 4 years in a row.
Yeah. They went 4 years in a row. Wow. All right. Well,
That was fun.
LeBron, I think he should have more than his 4 MVPs. Truthfully, that's how I feel. But I don't know. Some other people might disagree. 609-807-2492. Call in and let us know. This is the Rome Show. We are taking you all the way up until the 8 o'clock hour here on HamiltonRadio.net, channel 2, and Facebook.com/The Rome Show 1. All right, Rocky, here is the deal. Okay. We had a bunch of fan write-ins, and I want to go through them right. Okay. I put up a question sticker on the Instagram, and a good amount of people chimed in. And it got me really excited because we talked about this last week. We love when people chime in. And it's kind of funny, too, because I know people know me, personally on here, whatever. So I tend to get a lot of, personal responses, and it really makes me laugh because I get some of them are inside jokes, but I appreciate that sometimes just as much as the ones we can share for sure on the air. You Romo sapiens out there, you funny humans, you. Will the Mets ever be a contender again?
Yes. I mean, honestly, at this point, maybe. I mean, they're just perpetual 6 games under 500 right now.
Define ever again, right? Like, are we talking in this century? Are we talking in this next 5-year span?
Well, what are we talking about? Here's the thing. If you look at the Mets history, 2000 World Series, 2006 NL Championship Series, 2015, and there's one in between there, right, where we made a run?
Yes.
Right? So we're on it's an average of anywhere between 4 to 6 years where we return, and then we just fall off again. So probably 2021 could be a really good year for us.
But with Steve Cohen buying the team, does that change your feelings on it?
Absolutely. I think we become faster and we'll stay up there longer. I think with that financial backing and a businessman running the team, you have the opportunity to stay good for longer.
I think as long as he revamps the structure of the organization and then allots his money appropriately, then I do believe the Mets could be a contender and be a contender that pumps themselves in like the Los Angeles Dodgers have in the last 10 years. Will fans return to sporting events soon? Well, they already have.
I mean, they have.
In some areas, they have. 21,000 people in Dallas on Sunday.
Love it.
21,000. Think about that. It's 25% capacity, and that meant 21,000 people in Dallas.
I know. That is a sellout at any hockey arena.
When do they get back to 100%? Not till 2021 at some point. I just don't believe it. I don't see it. Yeah. And I'm wondering if, depending on what happens, right? Okay, because people probably forget this at this point, but we're on the cusp of the NHL season starting. We're on the cusp of the NBA season starting. We are in so reverse right now. There's a solid chance that when the next season starts for the NBA and for the NHL, they might be in the ball still.
Yeah, we might. Bettman said we probably won't see the regular season start till January.
Think about that. But it's still a realistic possibility.
I'll tell you what, though, if I'm hockey, what if I could kick off the season with the Winter Classic?
That's the first game of the year.
Yeah.
Imagine fans can come back that day.
Oh my God.
That'd be pretty sick. Now, let me ask you this question. Are you shortening the season, not just hockey, but in any of those leagues?
No chance.
Really? You're going to play 82 games again. So now, how are you going to get back to the cycle of your regular scheduled season?
I think that's what they had talked about. I think that's what's been in play. I mean, if they were worried about shortening this season, don't you think that we would have seen a different playoff format?
I do. You're right. I agree with that.
I mean, it was a 2-month go, no matter what we.
But if you play 82 games scheduled, starting in January, you're going to end in August.
Yes, because you're 2 months behind.
Right.
But you probably won't take a week off break. You probably change travel, and you probably change your ability. You probably don't get as many days off.
I mean, so is that more detrimental to the players? My thing is, I agree with it. I do think it should start later. I just don't know how you appropriately get back to the cycle of your regularly scheduled program. Starting late September, early October, rolling through the early parts of summer.
I think that the goal would be if we needed to have a shortened off season, at least it would be when it was normal again,
Right. You're right.
right?
Yes.
And
So
then
there would be a max
that's
ability
right.
to get
Then
back.
maybe you shorten preseason in 2022, and you just kind of go.
It's interesting because that's what every league is dealing with.
And by the way, maybe in 2022 now you get back on time, but instead of a week mid-season break, you take 2 weeks, and then your All-Star break's a week instead of 4 days, and then you kind of layer it in that.
And if you think about it, the NFL's good. They're going to play their regular season out, regular schedule.
Yeah, they're fine.
They might not have the same players they always stayed using based on what happened last weekend. The MLB is going to be okay because they're going to end right on schedule pretty much to what they would normally end.
That's right.
It's the NHL and the NBA that are really getting killed with this.
I think the NHL is just going to work itself into back to normal.
And hockey players, let's be honest, dude. Like if there was a sport that where guys somehow didn't need an off season, it would be hockey because the only way to stay in hockey shape, same like basketball though, is to play basketball. Like all these dudes do in the off season anyways is play hockey and play basketball.
That's right. It's just a different,
100%. Like football teams aren't getting 11-11s together in the off season and running plays.
No,
It's not happening.
no, they're not even allowed to.
Nor are baseball teams.
So there. But I think the NBA actually probably has the biggest opportunity to really maneuver and make some changes that would make their game better.
I agree.
Right? I actually think the NBA has an opportunity to really improve their game if they had to shorten or change some of the stuff.
Give us an example, please.
I think a lot of people have talked about tournaments in the NBA, and I think that you could start layering in some tournaments to start cutting some time off or changing games to get back to your normal schedule. And I could see some of that stuff happening and being like, "Oh, this turned out to be really cool."
Rocky, you know what Rocky would add to every sport after this if he could? Relegation. He'd relegate every sport. All right, well, let's hold that conversation for a little bit deeper, maybe later on or on another Rome show, because that is interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what both the NHL and the NBA do to get back on their regular schedule. Program, more fan write-ins on the Rome show. Dave Titer comeback story. I figure you'd appreciate it.
I love that. I don't know where he's coming back from.
I don't know where he's coming back from either. I hope he dominates it too. Both New York teams, that is football teams, are 0-2, and that some of their best players are injured. Sad face. Hold on to that, because when we come back from the break, we're about taking a minute. Okay, we'll dive right in. All right. Ooh, inappropriate. Next.
Rocky Romanella is the founder and CEO of 360 Management Services LLC and author of the book Tighten the Lug Nuts. With over 4 on leadership.
Maybe 2021 will be our year for the New York Giants. LOL. That was your way.
That's a funny one.
And the last one, before we go to break, sleeper teams in the MLB postseason. Ooh. Do you want to test that one now or you want to go to break?
Nah, let's go to break. I got to see who's in play.
All right, so when we get back from the break, we're going to talk Jets, Giants, 0-2 starts. We're going to dive into what's necessary for both teams in 2021, the NFL weekend that just passed, and give you our sleeper teams for the MLB postseason. This is Andrew Romanella. That's Rocky Romanella. This is The Rome Show here on HamiltonRadio.net, Channel 2, and Facebook.com/The Rome Show 1. We will be right back.
Is the founder and CEO of 360 Management Services LLC and author of the book Tighten the Lug Nuts. With over 40 years of boots-on-the-ground leadership experience, Rocky creates excitement through his energy, passion, and knowledge in every podcast. During his 36 years at UPS, he led one of the largest rebranding initiatives in franchising history, the UPS Store, revolutionizing the $9 billion retail shipping and business services market. He also led the integration of more than 20 acquisitions that became UPS Supply Chain Solutions and let us improve financial performance, capabilities, and global footprint. Post-UPS, he served as CEO and director for Unitech Global Services, a telecommunications company, and serves as an independent board member and advisor. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the discussion.
All right, welcome back in here to The Rome Show on HamiltonRadio.net and Facebook.com/The Rome Show 1. 609-807-2492 is the phone call if you'd like to call in on the show and get in on this dynamite action that we have going on here. We got a fan write-in that we were reading before the break. We left it for the Romo Sapiens for after the break. And it is this. How are both New York football teams 0-2? And it's even worse because most of their best players are injured. If you did not hear, I don't know, you must be under a rock if you're listening to sports. Saquon Barkley out for the year with a torn ACL for the New York Giants. Very sad. I don't know what the Giants are going to do from there, truthfully. I don't think that's the only reason why they're 0-2. And on terms of the Jets, Le'Veon Bell got hurt last week. But again, I don't think that's the reason why they're 0-2 as well.
No, I don't think so either. And I think with Deion Lewis and Wayne Gallman, I think the Giants will be fine. I think they got issues from they just got issues from a management standpoint at this point. It's like I don't know how you can play the Pittsburgh Steelers and be like, oh wow, the Giants defense looks pretty good. Just chalk it up to the Steelers being better. And then you go play the Bears and then they look like a junior varsity squad who has no business being on the field.
I mean, they only gave up 17 points.
Yeah, no, they were better in the second half.
That's good.
But I mean, nice job making adjustments.
Right. I think of the two teams, if I had to look at positivity, who am I putting my stock in? Right now, I do believe the Giants are trending in a better direction than the Jets. And I do believe Daniel Jones is trending in the direction of being a solid quarterback in the NFL. However, I do believe Saquon Barkley getting hurt is going to be a huge hindrance on his development in year 2.
So I don't know. It's year 3.
Year 3.
Listen, so I'm torn on Saquon because it's funny. There's a stat out there right now that there's only 2 players that have gained more yards from scrimmage than Saquon over the last 2 years, right? And that's Ezekiel Elliott and Christian McCaffrey, right? And if you talked about either of those 2 people to any fan of the NFL, no-brainer, home runs, best guys in the league. You go to Saquon, and it's like, I don't know if he can run with power. I don't know if he can hit the hole that quickly. I don't know if he's this short down back, right? So it's like, okay, so I'm mad that he's not those things right now, but it's also like, well, that's a lot of upside right there. Because if you're able to put that many yards from scrimmage on the ground, okay, let's just figure out how to run straight, and we'll be good.
Yeah, but part of it is that he can't run straight. It's offensive line.
Exactly. So I think Saquon's a wash this year either way. But here's what I'm nervous about, I'm kind of excited about, I don't know yet, is that on Sunday, here's what came into my head. And it's really only because Daniel Jones had such a bad start to the game.
That first half is terrible.
But with a dynamic runner like Wayne Gallman, who's, by the way, is a really good running back, really good runner, and with a veteran presence like Deion Lewis, and if Daniel Jones has another start like the one he had, is it more dynamic and a better option for the Giants to play McCoy at quarterback?
No.
And is it something that's like lightning in a bottle and Daniel Jones becomes better for the rest of his career?
No.
And you go,
I don't think so at all. There's not one iota of me that believes that Colt McCoy is the answer for the New York Giants.
but you can run RPO.
Great. Great. And you should be able to run that or learn how to do something of the nature in terms of the play action passing game.
You get RPO with Colt McCoy.
You are gone crazy. You're literally trying to sit anyone for Colt McCoy.
I'm not trying to say that. I don't want this to happen.
If you would have, so why do you? Because it was such a bad start. But that's one game.
Believe me, I told myself I wasn't getting the bad Giants. Second year in the league.
I said that. You said no. It's just third.
No, Saquon's third year. It's Daniel Jones' second.
And I was talking about Daniel Jones. I said his development in his second year is hindered without Saquon being hurt. You said no, it's third year. Yeah, it's only
Saquon. Listen,
no, it's only his second year.
Use pronouns.
And you're about to sit him for Coleman. That's not as bad as Eli Manning. But it's up there.
No, it's not. I'm not saying I want this to happen. But based on how bad the start was,
what the Giants should have done, and this is as Monday morning quarterback gets. The Giants should have gotten Cam Newton.
So the Jacksonville Tennessee game was probably one of the better games of the weekend. So many points scored. I'm just moving off the Giants.
What the fan questions about the Giants and the Jets.
Listen,
So
Giants are so frustrating right now, and even for the people like me who are trying to be positive.
yeah, okay, I understand. I get that you as a fan is frustrated. I understand that. Okay, that's great. We still have to talk about it. We still talk about it. But on the Jets side of things, though, 'cause I was thinking about this, because in that same draft, right, in 2018, all right, Saquon Barkley was taken second overall. In that draft, you had Baker Mayfield first overall, Sam Darnold third overall. Then you had, okay, this is the pick of the century. Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills traded up to a 7th pick, drafted Josh Allen out of Wyoming. And to this day, right now, could be the MVP of the league.
This is what I'm saying. This is why I don't get excited about drafts. For this reason,
Because people crush Josh Allen.
no one cares
Is he the best?
about Josh Allen.
Is he the best draft pick in that draft?
As of right now,
Yeah, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Josh Rosen, Josh Allen, all in the first round.
now the guard for Indianapolis might be the best. Draft.
Well, that's the best offensive line in the league. You're not wrong about that. But think about it. I'm just going to tell you this. I'm just saying.
Quarterbacks, if you would, let's just do quarterbacks because you can't just go player.
And again, here is the ultimate Monday morning quarterback. This is the year with which Saquon Barkley was drafted. Now, you're sitting here telling me that Colt McCoy might run a better offense
I'm not saying he's going to
than Daniel Jones.
I'm saying if Daniel Jones continues to show like he showed in the first quarter on Sunday, you will see Colt McCoy quarterbacking the New York Giants this football season.
Okay, so to continue my point, if that's the case, right, then how do you not look at the pick of Saquon Barkley as a bad pick by Dave Gettleman?
Because Sam Darnold sucks.
But does he suck?
Mayfield hasn't done anything.
Okay, but here's my question.
Josh Rosen doesn't even have a job in the NFL.
I'm not talking about Josh Rosen, though. And I'm not necessarily.
Yes, you are. You're talking about all of the quarterbacks that were available at that moment.
Sam Darnold not in the
Sam Darnold is
a better quarterback.
No
No,
chance.
he doesn't.
No chance. No chance. He still gets mono. He still sucks.
No,
He's not
that's-
Sam
yeah.
Darnold, he's from USC.
It doesn't matter.
USC quarterbacks do not play in the NFL.
If you just name Mark Sanchez as your only
Carson
NFL
Palmer
lineman,
is the only quarterback in USC history to have a good NFL career.
okay. My point being, it does not matter that he came from USC. That was also a Pete Carroll timeline comparative.
Dwayne has
Everyone else. Dwayne Haskins didn't come from USC
He
either.
came from Ohio State. and
Okay.
he struggled with quarterbacks.
Okay, but that's not even a part of this argument. At the end of the day, you watch some of the things that Sam Darnold does on the field, much like Daniel Jones and much like Baker Mayfield. You're like, oh, okay, if they have a competent human being building this organization, I'm just saying, would you be better off with Sam Darnold, right? And probably a better built team because you didn't take a running back and pick 2 when you didn't have an offensive line. Because, hey, remember that guy that you just said, right? Quentin Nelson from the Indianapolis Colts? What pick was he in that draft? 6.
To see, we would be better with him.
Yes, that's
not
what I'm
Sam
saying.
Darnold.
But I didn't specifically say just quarterback. You just started yelling about the quarterbacks in the draft. My point is they had the 2 pick. They took Saquon. They're not
right
right.
pick.
No, it's not. You're saying
the
it right.
right pick?
No, it wasn't. Quentin was the right pick.
Well, technically, yes.
Yes, anyone that would help your team win would be the best. Saquon. You drafted Barry Sanders.
Which was pretty good.
No, it wasn't. Did it win you any championships?
Well, he's played Detroit.
But this is, and you right now are mimicking the Detroit Lions.
We are saying.
So that is my. I need you to take your Giants out. Answer the question honestly.
Giants is off.
All right, answer it
It's
honestly.
off. I've taken it. I haven't even worn it yet.
Then we will move past that. We've got some questions for you. Cool. If you look at it objectively now, do you believe that was the right pick?
I'm the type of person that would have taken
The right.
Saquon Barkley first overall, no matter what.
Wow. Even though he had no one to run behind, or Eli had no weapons, or there was nothing in the cover
You're completely rebuilding your offense. I mean,
from
scratch.
which and when you think about football,
Yeah, you should start with an O-line.
okay. I just want to hear you say that before we move.
I get it, but here's the thing, like, I get all that stuff.
Right.
I get all of that stuff,
Yes.
but no quarterback in that draft.
No, okay, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Like, if you tell me I think that the pick wasn't right, but I don't believe it should have been one of the other quarterbacks, I'm okay with that. But I still think when you look at it, even at the time, I mean, I know it was very extreme, but when you just look at it and I'm sure the magnification of Saquon getting hurt doesn't help, but just them being bad for 3 years, them just stinking, it just really reeks of, how did they actually drafted like a normal franchise and gone from the inside out? They'd probably be pretty good right now.
Yes.
And you know what? Maybe Saquon isn't the guy running the football. And probably Danny Dimes is still the quarterback.
Didn't they get Zeke before they got Dak, though?
But they had Tony Romo.
Okay, but we had Eli.
Right, but you didn't have an offensive line. They put Zeke behind the best offensive
So
line.
what were they doing 4 years before they got
Drafting the offense. No, they weren't. Well, I don't know. That's your franchise's problem. But they were not drafting appropriately.
That's what I'm saying. It's in a lens. It's in a lens because it was Gettleman's first pick.
But the thing is, if you're going to look at a franchise and say, okay, we have nothing. Reeves left me with literally nothing. Our offensive line is the worst in the league. And gosh, no matter who your quarterback is, you can't be good if your offensive line is bad. How do you not look at those things and say, this is where I need to go? And I don't know. If I'm a Dolphins fan and that's my GM, I'm done with it. 3 years, I see no improvement. I don't think he's built that great of a team. I like Joe Judge. I like him. I keep him. Dave Gettleman, let's force a retirement here. I think it's time. Let's go get somebody that's going to build the franchise from the interior out.
That's what he was supposed to do.
All right, here we go. I got some NFL topics written down for you here. The Giants will have the #1 pick in 2021.
Nah, they'll find it.
You think so? So if you had to put money
I
down,
still think that they could turn it around.
if you had to put money down on pick 1 through 15, or all of your money on 16 through 30, what would you take? Which pick or 16 through 30?
You know what? It's 1 through 5.
Really?
That's how bad. Like,
Well, you just said they might turn it around.
bro, I told you. I literally had a conversation. I said I was not going to get down on the Giants until week 4.
Well, it's week 2 that we're here.
This was like it was a blow. It was a blow.
I don't believe they'll have the #1 overall pick, but I do believe they'll be in the top 10.
It's sad.
Okay. Sam Darnold starts for someone not the Jets in 2021.
I would buy that.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though he's going into the last year of his rookie deal.
I mean, why pay him?
Sure.
If you're not going to win any games and you can draft, why pay him?
You-
Go pay someone in the top 10.
Well, that's the thing, is they might be the #1 overall pick, and then you have a chance at Trevor Lawrence. And then the question becomes, do you stick with Sam Darnold and revamp the entire organization with a new coaching staff, or do you cut ties with Sam Darnold and Adam Gase and bring in a new quarterback and a new head coach at the same time?
Bro, that's right up the Jets alley.
And by the way, how good does Todd Bowles look right now?
Yeah, it looks okay.
Right? I mean, hey, New York Jets, maybe he was the head coach. That was probably not bad for you guys, because what they're putting on the field right now is bad.
It's not good.
Adam Gase is bad.
Not good. The Jets were supposed to be bad though, so it's not as.
But like it should, like, let me ask you a question. Of the 32 teams in the NFL, who is looking the worst? The worst out of anyone.
Worse than the Giants? The Jets.
Right. And then maybe the Minnesota Vikings. I think the Giants just look better than the Vikings. Because the Vikings had expectations. That's the thing, is they had expectations.
I looked at the Vikings score yesterday. Dude, Phillip Rivers.
There you go. But talk about that offensive line. Huh? No wonder they're pretty good. And then they drafted their running back 4 years later. Okay, moving on. Have you ever seen, right, an NFL weekend that was worse injury-wise in your lifetime?
Probably, but I don't recall it because like it's injuries. So.
I can't remember one.
I don't think it was. I mean,
Jimmy
Garoppolo,
it was Saquon Barkley, Christian.
I'm pretty sure the
McCaffrey,
49ers.
Drew Lock.
I think the 49ers are going to protest the game versus Giants.
Did you see how many people they have out?
Dude, because
They have like 11 starters.
They're playing on the turf.
Well, that's what I heard. So wait. Give me a little bit of insight of this. Because all I saw one story on it, and
They're saying the turf grass is too long, it's too sticky.
so that, okay, I saw that. What's the stickiness? So like what? If we got
It's rubber, it's not real.
So if it's too long, though, it makes it too sticky.
Think about when you cut in grass. There's always that chance that you slip. That's why you wear cleats.
Right.
Right. In turf, it's rubber on rubber, so the friction is so strong. That's why you have so many torn ACLs nowadays, because there's no give on the turf.
So what causes the stickiness? I guess that's my question. Like,
So it's made out of rubber balls. Like, you know when like
yeah, it's like rubber tires.
throw your
Yeah.
two toes down. So I guess that's what makes it.
That's crazy. Here's
Dude,
my
the Giants were struggling in Chicago, man. They were losing shoes and stuff. They were losing plans. I'm telling you, we have to go back to school, write a master's dissertation on the increase of ACL tears and the increase of turf in football, and I guarantee you there's a direct correlation.
I absolutely agree with you. I bet you can put other sports on it too.
Like, why don't we just play on grass?
I think it really does come down to the weather and the maintenance.
Like,
It really
don't
does.
get why we're not still playing on grass.
But you think about this, right? Especially in the Northeast and the northern parts of our country and places where it snows, man. Like, think about a day in Chicago when it snows an unbelievable amount. You just get out there, you plow that,
Then I will become our father on this one. That there is not one NFL stadium that shouldn't have a retractable roof.
I'll 100% agree with that.
Like,
100%.
you're going to spend money on the turf so that you can hurt your assets.
Yep.
Put the dome up. Now, every stadium can host a Super Bowl.
I agree with that 100%.
You just spent
kill the element.
$2 trillion on a stadium, and I still got to sit and freeze my ass off. Oh, and I got to pay a PSL to sit there.
Yeah, you're right. It's a great point, Leo. I don't disagree with you. I think in a lot of sports, man, a lot of sports with the stadiums going up, unless you're in like Cali or Nevada.
Minnesota got to host the Super Bowl
Yeah, because they have a dome.
in the snow.
Yeah, and so did the Meadowlands.
But then I guess you can't do grass in Minnesota.
So why couldn't Arizona has a roof, and they have grass. They have, I don't know if they've changed it, but I know that for a while the Cardinals had grass. Okay, and listen to this concept. They had it was essentially a retractable field underneath the stadium. They would put the grass field for game day out in the sun during the week whenever they weren't practicing on it or whatever. And then on game day, they would like shift fields.
That in
and bring
itself
that grass.
is incredible.
Mind blowing. But to your point, if we have that technology,
Why
aren't we playing on grass?
I just don't get it.
So clearly, we need a Scotch Turf Builder to come on and
We
go
need
ahead and sponsor the show.
all of the hands on deck from the PGA Tour to sit with the NFL and be like, this is how you
Good
play
point.
grass in your stadiums.
This next segment brought to you by Scott's Turf Builder. Remember, if you want to get your grass ready, go with Scott's.
That's right. We need that.
All right, here we go. The Eagles fired Doug Peterson.
It would be interesting if that happened. I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, you don't think so?
No, you made a good point. He won the Super Bowl, so you got to fire the guy at the end of the season, give him that respect. But he's not the guy.
See, here's the thing. I don't think they fire him because he won a Super Bowl.
See, I'm more interested in.
And I don't agree with that.
More interested in, do people think it's Carson Wentz or is it not Carson Wentz? Because I heard an Eagles fan today tell me
Great
that
point.
I made an Eagles fan today tell me it's not Carson Wentz, and when we get Devonta Freeman, we're going to be really, really good, or Devonta Adams, whoever it is.
But it's funny that you say that because I don't know who I was talking to. Literally today said, I think we're closer to seeing Jalen Hurts than people realize. And I'm like, I agree. Jalen Hurts is the backup for the Eagles. And do we really think Carson Wentz is that bad? Then like you look back on the game he played this weekend and you're like,
Maybe.
he's regressed.
All I'm saying is that, like, I don't understand why Carson Wentz can get a pass on this guy doesn't have weapons, and Daniel Jones can't get a pass because he has no offensive line.
Yes.
That is what kills me. That's what kills me.
Do you believe, and we actually just had a write-in, and it was
Jordan Gav, what's up, bro?
Jordan writes, Doug could be gone if they keep playing this way, but Wentz is playing bad, but I could see them finding another coach to try Wentz before giving up on him. I can see that. You fire Peterson,
Give Wentz a chance.
give Wentz a chance, knowing that, and now, do you believe in Jalen Hurts? I guess. You drafted him, maybe, right? Did you draft Jalen Hurts just in case?
Well, that's why you get rid of Peterson mid-year, because you bring in the next coach and be like, hey, your job is to get Jalen Hurts ready for you to take over.
Or
We'll
figure out-
move Wentz in the offseason.
It's either figure out if Wentz is good enough.
Yeah, and then get this.
Yes.
guy, 'cause then you got a little Aaron Rodgers going on.
100%. Which, by the way, underrated, terrible move this offseason. the Packers drafting Jordan Love instead of giving Aaron Rodgers more weapons, because that running game is legit. Aaron Rodgers is legit. They have a good enough defense, but who the hell is he throwing the football to? And that in itself, you'll see. Just wait. Just wait till the end of the year when you're like, hold on a second here. They wasted a first-round pick on Jordan Love. Or second pick, one of the two. A quarterback they don't need right now. Hold on, draft picks. That was stupid. A quarterback you don't need right now. With a team that could possibly win this year. Contend for a Super Bowl. And I don't even know that I picked up a guy, Rock, yesterday on my fantasy team. Because I realized, right, Michael Thomas isn't playing tonight for the Saints, okay? So I picked up this guy. He's got 3 names in Green Bay. He's projected like 11.3 points. He had like a reckless week the week before. Like, it just smacked me in the face. I'm like, who the hell are these people? Don't know. And it's not like it's the Bill Belichick who I don't know, because they're good, the guys that we don't know in New England.
I'm thankful that half the league actually played 5 years ago, or else I wouldn't have a fantasy team, because I don't know any.
Fantastic point.
I don't know anyone, and every team runs 3 running backs. I don't know how you're good at picking running backs.
100%. I agree with you 100%.
I found out I had Aaron Jones last week. I got lucky. I didn't even know.
Are you serious?
No, I knew.
Play it. Okay. I got one more for you on the NFL before I want your opinions on tonight's game. Okay. Oh man, yeah. Every time I wrote the Josh Allen question literally down on Sunday, and then I built the rest of the NFL off on it. And I just looked at it again for some stupid reason, and it is true. He's the best pick from that draft in 2018.
From a quarterback standpoint, he's the best.
He's the best pick.
Best performing quarterback to date, and he has his team performing the best. And he's gotten better. Like the Bills themselves. I actually, in week 1, I was more interested in watching that Bills Jets game just because of the Bills than I was the Eagles Washington game.
I agree with you 100%. The Bills are in that, and hey, by the way, this is why I'm rocking my Dolphins shirt today, because I'm super proud of the way the Fins played. They lost 31-28 against the Bills. The Bills were up early. They were up the whole game. The Dolphins fought for 60 minutes, and that's why I like the Fins and I like Brian Flores, because I think every game that Brian Flores has coached for the Dolphins, they've competed. But that wasn't my point. My point was about the Bills. And to your point, they're enjoyable to watch. And Josh Allen, 100% the best performer from that draft. Last one, though. Last one. Okay. Russell Wilson wins the MVP.
With McCaffrey out, with Garoppolo out, I mean, other than Mahomes, maybe Zeke. Like, who else is going to contend?
Aaron Jones.
He's got to
maybe Josh Allen if he keeps it up.
Yeah, I think
if the Bills make it to the playoffs,
you have to give it.
And Josh Allen has like a 60% completion percentage, over 20 touchdowns in the air.
He's got to have 3-digit,
and he's got to have double-digit on the ground and over 20 in the air. I think he could get it. But I think Russell Wilson gets it. And I told you this stat before.
Is Russell Wilson going to maintain it?
Dude, yes. He's so good. Like,
they just have so many games where they win 11-9 and like they don't score any touchdowns.
No, they don't at all. Like,
I feel like the Seattle does that.
You need to go back and look at the history books. He's been in the league for 8 years, dude.
I love Russell
Wilson.
He's
so good. Here's the deal. It is a crime. It's a crime that he has never received an MVP vote. This is my argument about LeBron James. My argument about Russell Wilson.
Who's he up against?
Everyone. Think about it. You take Russell Wilson away from the Seahawks the last 8 years, they don't have two Super Bowl appearances and 1 Super Bowl victory.
That defense was pretty good, dude.
It was. Did you see the numbers? Like, he actually did what he needed to. It wasn't like a Mark Sanchez, the Jets defense carried them to the AFC Championship. It was like a Marshawn Lynch and Russell Wilson were legitimate. And he's a dude. And they're in the playoffs every year because of him. If you remove him, they're never in the playoffs. Never in the playoffs.
Last 8, he's been in the league 8 years.
Yes.
So last year, Lamar Jackson, was he better than Lamar?
No, last year was Lamar, no doubt.
Year before that, Patty Mahomes, was he better than Patrick Mahomes?
Maybe.
Year before that, Tom Brady.
Probably, possibly.
Year before that, this is the one that you're going to say. Although, I don't know, though, because...
Was the year before... What year was that?
2016. Is
that Cam Newton?
Matt Ryan.
Oh, went to the Super Bowl. Okay.
I'm not there yet. Cam won it in 15 when he went to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers won it in 14.
So if you think about all of these guys, Russell Wilson is the conversation with them all and has the numbers with them all and has the winning with them all.
It's funny, yeah, the years that these other quarterbacks won. Well, when did Seattle win the Super Bowl?
I want to say it was 2015.
So that was Cam. No, they didn't beat Cam. Cam was in the Super Bowl.
2015. They beat 2016, 15 they lost it. In 2014 they won it. I believe that's what it was. Either way.
2014 they beat the Broncos.
And then in 2015, and in that game he was off the charts. But I just think I'm not saying he should have won an MVP. I'm saying
14 when he won the Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers was the MVP.
And I'm just saying it's a crime that he never received a vote. One singular vote in his 8 years in this league, off the numbers he's put up, the type of teams that he's helped produce. I think it's great.
Can you name me the last player that was not a quarterback to win the MVP?
The last player, not a quarterback, to win the MVP.
Yep, there's only been one since, let's see. In the 2000s, so just from 2000 till now,
okay,
there has only been 3 non-quarterback MVPs.
Terrell Davis.
Nope. All running backs.
Yeah. Ezekiel Elliott.
No.
He hasn't won one. He's in the conversation, right?
So you'll probably get 2 out of 3.
Will I?
Yeah. One is still playing.
One is still playing.
Yes. Not very much, but a year.
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, you got it.
I got him. Got it. And then he was the last one because that was in Minnesota in 2000 whatever after he tore his ACL.
That's right. He was in Minnesota.
Okay.
And the one you're not going to get is Sean Alexander.
Why couldn't you give me like a hint?
Because I'm trying to get you to the third one.
Oh, okay. Sean Alexander, Seahawks. Remember that? He was on the
Now,
cover
the third one is from a West Coast team.
from a West Coast team.
Yeah.
He was a running back.
Yeah.
Oh, with Damian Tomlinson,
Got it.
Chargers. That's when he broke the NFL rushing record with touchdowns. Oh, you didn't think you were getting trivia on this day, but you are. Listen, we are getting up against the end of this show, Rocky. So I need 2 takes from you right here, real quick, for the Romo Sapiens. The stopwatch is on. I'll give you the first one. You give me the take, then I'll give you the second one. Skipping from football real quick, going to the NHL. The Stars are up 1-0, okay? Game 2 is tonight. Tampa Bay is 5-0 in games following an L this postseason, and in the third period of their Game 1 loss, they outshot the Dallas Stars 22-2. However, Anton Khudobin is 9-0 with a .934 save percentage, with games in which he has 30 or more saves. He had 36 in Game 1. Something has to give, okay? Will the Lightning be able to put some pucks past Khudobin? Or is he going to have another outstanding night and the Stars go up 2-0?
I'm taking the Stars tonight.
Wow. Any quick insight?
They got something special.
They do. They're playing really well. Okay, last one right here. Monday Night Football. The Las Vegas Raiders are opening up their brand new stadium in Las Vegas. Super awesome, super cool. It is sad that there are no fans there, but nonetheless, awesome. They're playing the New Orleans Saints. As simply put as you can get, are the Las Vegas Raiders home opener in their new stadium going to get spoiled tonight by Drew Brees and the Saints?
Yes.
Why?
I want to cheer for the Raiders, but the Saints are just better.
They are better, and there's no fan noise. That's the difference. You can't come into the stadium and feed off the fans.
Listen, Gruden will have his boys playing well, but the Saints are better.
I agree 100%. That is the Rome Show here on HamiltonRadio.net, Channel 2, and Facebook.com/The Rome Show 1. We appreciate everybody tuning in on the Facebook. Ruben, our producer at Hamilton Radio. We will be back next week, September 28th, 7 to 8 p.m. Remember, you can listen to the Rome Show podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Rocky, say goodbye to the Romo Sapiens.
Have a great night, Romo Sapien. Shout out to Jordan Gath, loyal Romo Sapien.
Got to love the loyal Romo Sapiens. Until next week, the Rome Show, we are out.
Rocky Romanella is the founder and CEO of 360 Management Services LLC and author of the book Tighten the Lug Nuts. With over 40 years of boots-on-the-ground leadership experience, Rocky creates excitement through his energy, passion, and knowledge in every podcast. During his 36 years at UPS, he led one of the largest rebranding initiatives in franchising history, the UPS Store, revolutionizing the $9 billion retail shipping and business services market. He also led the integration of more than 20 acquisitions that became UPS Supply Chain Solutions and led its improved financial performance, capabilities, and global footprint. Post-UPS, he served as CEO and director for Unitech Global Services, a telecommunications company, and serves as an independent board member and advisor. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the discussion.
Do this look like work to you? Nah, looking at the lights like it's all of this for me. Everyone tonight is here, all of this for me. Hands in the air, yeah, all of this for me. Bottles over here, all of this for me. Bottles bringing bottles out.